inspiration and support for caregivers. Exploring the heart of care.
Welcome back to CareCast, where we are exploring the heart of care. My name is Jeremy Watkins, and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the CareCast. In Season 2, we are talking about the psychology of caregiving, and I'm really excited about today's episode, and you're about to see why. It was a Monday, and I got a message from one of the caregivers at my company, Carosity, and I could feel the frustration through the screen. She was having a rough day. Her client, a woman she absolutely adored, was declining. And that morning, she said that the client thought it was Sunday and was arguing with her that she needed to be taken to church and was mad at the caregiver for not taking her to church. And her reminders of it's Monday, not Sunday, only made things worse. And then the caregiver wrote the part that stopped me. She told me how when her client is on the phone with her daughter, she seemed absolutely fine. She seemed clear. She remembered things. She was asking questions. She laughed. And then the second they hung up, the confusion was back. I think we've all seen it. We call it show timing. We see our loved one or our client act, quote unquote, perfectly normal for the doctor or for a visiting relative, and it makes us feel crazy. We get frustrated, and then we feel guilty for being frustrated. When my caregiver sent me that message, I found myself typing back something I'd never said before, something that has never really crossed my mind. And I said something to the effect of, well, maybe her daughter is a mental landmark for this client, and she remembers things and knows to act a certain way when her daughter is on the phone or is present. And as soon as I typed it, I stopped and I thought, a mental landmark. What if we've been seeing this all wrong? What if these moments of clarity aren't an act or a fluke? What if they are the most important clues that we have? What if a person with dementia is in a constant disorienting fog and they are just desperately searching for a lighthouse, a fixed point to prove they're not lost? Today, I want to talk about this new map, a map of lighthouses, a map of mental landmarks, because I believe this idea doesn't just change who we are and how we care, it changes everything. For over 100 years, we've had one map for dementia. I call it the broken brain model. It's the clinical map of what's lost. It's a map of plaques, tangles, and deficits. And it's true, it's a real disease. But that map, it's absolutely useless for explaining the Sunday Monday problem. It's useless for explaining how a man who can't remember your name can play a flawless song on the piano. The broken brain map tells us what's gone. The mental landmark map shows us what is still there. So, What are they? I've found there are four main types of mental landmarks. The first and most powerful is a people landmark. That is what my caregiver saw. The thinking part of the brain, the front office, if you will, is the part that gets damaged. That's the part that stores facts like Jane, my daughter. But the emotional part of the brain, the deep, secure vault, that part is often the last to be affected. It doesn't store the fact, Jane. It stores the feeling, safety, love, home. You get where I'm going? When your loved one or your client can't remember your name, they haven't forgotten you. They've lost the word for you, but your presence, your touch, your voice, you are their landmark. You are the proof that the heart remembers long after the brain forgets. The second landmark is a place landmark. Think about your chair, the one in your living room. Now, what if someone made you sit somewhere else? You'd feel off, right? For a person in the fog, that off feeling is terror. Their one safe chair or their view from the kitchen window isn't just a preference. It's their "you are here" star on the map. It's their anchor. This is why when they look at you from the living room they've been in for 40 years and plead, "I want to go home," they are not talking about a place. They're talking about a feeling. They're actually saying, "I feel lost." And our job isn't to argue the fact you are home. Our job is to validate the feeling. Say something like, "I know, it feels unsettling. Let's go sit in your favorite chair. Let's find that home feeling together." And the third mental landmark is a passion landmark. This is my favorite one. This is the hands memory, the how-to skills. The fact of your breakfast is gone, but the how-to of playing the piano, of shuffling cards, or knitting or folding laundry, that is stored in a completely different part of the brain. A workshop that the disease often doesn't touch for a very long time. Okay? This isn't about activities. This is about identity. When a woman who was a musician plays the piano, for that moment, she is not a quote-unquote dementia patient. She is a musician. You are giving her herself back. And the fourth landmark is the sensory landmark. This is the superhighway. This is the back door into the brain. Music, smell, and taste. Music, especially music from our teens and 20s, is hardwired into our emotions. It's why a nonverbal man can hear a song from his youth and sing every single word. Smell is a time machine. The smell of coffee brewing or a special perfume, it bypasses the thinking brain and goes directly to the emotional core. These are your tools: a person, a place, a passion, and a song. This isn't about fixing them, not at all. It's about connecting with them. It's about finding them in the fog. So what does this make us? For so long, we've been taught to be firefighters, right? We wait for the crisis, the agitation, the I want to go home, and then we run around exhausted trying to put out the fires. This new map, this mental landmark map, it gives us a new job. We are not firefighters. We are lighthouse keepers. Our job is not to stop the storm, because we can't. The fog is very real. Our job is to simply, faithfully, and purposefully keep the lights on. When you put on the Frank Sinatra album, you are keeping that light on. When you validate the feeling of home instead of arguing the fact, you are keeping the light on. When you hand your loved one a basket of warm towels to fold, you are keeping the light on. And what is the job of a lighthouse keeper? To maintain the lighthouse. You cannot be a light for them if your own light is burned out. This isn't selfish. It is the most important part of the job. You must forgive yourself. You must find your own landmarks. So here's your assignment, if you want one. Don't try to map all of this today. Just try one thing. Become a detective of joy, if you will. For the next few days, just watch. And when you see one small spark, a smile, a foot tap, a moment of calm, just make a note of it. Ask yourself, what was the landmark? That's it. Just find one lighthouse. You are not alone in this journey. We are all lighthouse keepers for each other. Thank you for listening to CareCast, where we are exploring the heart of care. And remember, please be kind to yourself today.